Hey everyone, Joshua Kirk here with you once again, and I'm finally back for episode 297 of Album of the Day. This is the longest time that I've spent not doing a review, yeah, I've definitely been pretty busy lately, but now I'm back to do another album review for you guys, and this time it's for a country singer-songwriter out of North Carolina who has been active in the scene since somewhere around the 2010s, putting out several singles and EPs throughout their career, and now they've put out a couple of albums and really have proven to be one of the most well-respected artists in the underground country music circuit, who also happens to be part of the LGBT community as a non-binary pansexual person. And I am talking about the artist known as Adeem Maria, but better known under their stage name, Adeem the Artist. And I'm here to talk about their latest full-length album, which dropped on December 2nd, 2022. The album is called White Trash Revelry, and as you can see, I have the vinyl here. I actually got this for Christmas this past year. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this album and this artist because I feel like this is truly one of the most unique artists I've stumbled upon in the Americana sound as of late. But I'm here to show you what the vinyl looks like. There's the track list. There's 11 songs on the album, and it's over 40 minutes. Pretty short. And this is really interesting. This right here is like a little written thing that's kind of going a little deeper, like behind the roots that really drove this album, which I will get deeper into this once I get to talking about the actual record. And then the back of it, there's another picture of Adeem, there's the liner notes, and the the thank yous, and everything you need to know. And here's side A, and side B. And yeah, that's the vinyl packaging for White Trash Revelry, the latest album from Adeem the Artist. So, my introduction to Adeem seems to be what's been the introduction for most people with them, was with their last record, Cast Iron Pansexual, from 2021, which was a very stripped back and relatively short little alternative country and folk record that was all about embracing one's own identity and really kind of finding yourself. In a way, it was a bit of an origin story for Adeem, and was definitely one that at the time I was very intrigued and thought they had potential, if not necessarily like blown away by it, although going back and revisiting that album this year, inevitably it has grown on me. And the album wasn't just about like Adeem like as a person, but also there were other subject matters like the song "I Wish You Would Have Been a Cowboy," which is kind of about Adeem's complicated relationship with the huge country artist Toby Keith. So yeah, it was definitely very fascinating to hear them touch on a variety of topics and like doing them so well too. But this record is definitely marks a significant evolution as it's their first recorded in a professional studio with a full band. So it's definitely in a way feels like a more accessible and fleshed out version of what they were already doing on their previous stuff. And it was definitely an album that I was curious and really looking forward to hearing. Given what I'd heard about like some of the singles and everything, and upon hearing the album, I'm very happy to say Adeem did not disappoint at all. Like I think this record is truly one of the best country albums I've heard so far this decade. Like, I literally also praised Orville Peck's Bronco as well. So like yeah, these two, although coming from very different sort of kind of strains of country, they're both like I think among some of the best in this particular genre for the 2020s. This album opens with the song Carolina, which, given that they are from North Carolina, it makes sense that this album would kick off with a song kind of about their early life and their upbringing and significant moments from childhood that kind of defines who they are today. There's such great poeticisms in the lyrics, like that line that I will never forget of she was a teenage madcap runaway a year past graduation, and also reflecting on how their family had a long history of depression, usually fueled by kind of traumatic experiences, all the way down to lines about stress calling in the parking lot. And yeah, this song is basically about kind of what it felt like to grow up in kind of a white trash environment, hence the title of the record. And it's soundtracked by just beautiful instrumentation full of colorful pedal steel and guitars and guitars and piano, I think, as well. Well, and yeah, it's just a great tone setter for the record for sure. Then this followed by For Judas, which definitely is more of a ballad style track that is this very kind of touching and adorable little story about these two people like meeting at a small cafe during Pride, and kind of the simple beauty in this kind of intimate and close encounter. The chorus on here just has one of my favorite lyrics I've heard from a country singer in recent years. If it didn't rain at the perfect time, it's probable we wouldn't have kissed. In the Northeast Minneapolis Arts District. Like, yeah, if this song is just so incredibly touching, and there's also some really funny lines on here, like that line about hand-drawing tomatoes in a cursive mess. Like, it's a mess. Like, the details that Adeem paints in their stories is, I think, just done so well, and further brings home like whatever point they're trying to make in their songs. And I think this track is just a perfect example of that. And on top of that, the pianos, the guitar textures, the drums sound really good on here too. The subtle notes of accordion and synth on here are cool, provided by a guy named William Wright. And yeah, just a really well-written ballad. Then there's Heritage of Arrogance, where Adeem sort of proves right out of the gate with this one. They're not shy to talk about politics and in a way discuss kind of, feeling rage and disappointment with a country that's long engaged in practices of injustice, including racism and white supremacy, and also like discrimination against their people of their community as well. It makes total sense that it's done through an instrumental that has kind of more of a almost folk punk vibe to it, with the fuzzed out bass, yeah, and the drums and guitars sounding a little more in your face and have more like grit to them. It's just got incredible energy, and Adeem really sells it with their vocals, and also, there's just some really kind of biting lines on here, like that, like there's a line on here about seeing the clan with a child's eye on the street where they would play, and then also being like kicked out of the church for saying a quote unquote sinner's prayer. Like it's just very powerful stuff, and man, it just feels so cathartic to sing along to this track and be like, we're on top of the world, it's so goddamn unjust, but it's on us to make it right. Painkillers and Magic, however, is definitely a more subtle follow-up. A track that seems to kind of connect in a way, sort of, the complicated feelings some people have with religion to, a larger issue, like, say, the opioid crisis or something like that. And I think the message of the song is summed up beautifully by this chorus right here. Painkillers and magic, methamphetamines and spiritual madness. I watch with a child's eye as it happened. Through the linens of these memories, white trash revelry, painkillers and magic. Like this doesn't even have to be a song. Like, it could just be like a poem, and it would still, like, move me to tears, really. And I think the melody and the acoustic instrumentation, like, yeah, I always love to hear a country album that just feels so organic in terms of the production, and I think this record just does that whole vibe so well. And Adeem basically sings on here about a relative of theirs kind of, doing prayers and like singing hallelujah ceaselessly to kind of deal with her own issues with mental health and stuff like that. And that very heavenly outro full of harp and organ and, gospel background vocals, I think just brings home a lot of these points just so immaculately. But then Adeem brings back the energy with the track Run This Town, which is definitely easily the most fun on here. Musically, the guitars and the rhythm section just sound so tight on here. Some of the solos on this track are great. Like the guitar solo followed immediately by a steel guitar solo as well. Like, and Adeem basically sings a very kind of irreverently about planning to try to change the social landscape by running towns that aren't as accepting of people of their community. Obviously, I'm not suggesting you go and execute that plan because it's probably not going to end too well. But still, it's just so satisfying to hear Adeem go in, try to make the world a more accepting place in a way, but doing it in a way that doesn't come off preachy. That's still just kind of them just having a little fun, and you can even overhear them chuckling a little near the end. Really approving just kind of how they're confident in what they're doing, and I love to see that. But then the mood gets a little more somber with the song Baptized in Well Spirits, and I think the contrast going on here with these two songs, I think is really smart and really proving how well this album flows, despite kind of going from one emotion and subject to the next. And there's just a little beautiful pictures they paint in the song. Man, that line that opens the second verse about watching the Johnny Cash show, and he's singing "Walk the Line" slow, like he knows what's on their mind. That's eerie right there. And it's soundtracked by these lovely fiddle riffs over top of kind of the driving basic instrumentation. But then in the second half, we get like my top three songs from this album. The first one of them being "Middle of the Heart," which is definitely a song that really does spill out words of truth about kind of the in a way negative impact of making your son like go to the troops even though they insist that they don't really want to do that. Basically the song is about a guy who wants to get a good education and has dreams and plans for like what they want to do with their lives, but apparently their family doesn't approve of it, and like instead they force him to have just a normal wedding, and also tell him in order to help the family make more money for the family and get a good education. They have to go to the military for a few weeks, and I'm not going to spoil much more than that, but I will say that it ends up not ending well for this person, and it's just it's a heartbreaking song, but it's just so beautiful, and the way Adeem just writes it is just that they're really proving themselves to be a master when it comes to how they write lyrics. And I think the instrumentation, the pedal steel, mandolin, and banjo all sound just gorgeous and really color this whole mix very well. And it's definitely a song that even if you can't really relate to what is being talked about here, it's likely gonna move you to tears somewhat. And I just can't say enough good things about it. But thankfully, the following song does pick things up a little bit mood-wise, and it's my favorite track on the album. That is the song "Going to Hell," which, the chorus opens up with such a hilarious line. Do you really want to go to heaven when we get this rapture started? Or do you want to go to hell, children, with Adeem the artist? Even though, full disclosure, I do believe in God myself, in the case of this song, I definitely know which side I'm on with that line, and I think it's just such a witty, clever song. I think the bluegrass instrumentation sounds incredible, and just that's so colorful, and there's so many quotable lines white men would rather give the devil praise than acknowledge a black man's worth. Definitely true. Also, that whole second verse about trying to make a deal with the devil and singing songs together, but somehow the devil refused, and Adeem's is feeling a bit of dissatisfaction there. The song is just it rules. Then we have kind of a bit of a sequel in a way to Run This Town earlier on the album with the song Redneck, Unread Hicks, which seems to be the reason I say it kind of feels like a sequel to Run This Town is obviously the song sounds a lot different, but it's kind of in a way the aftermath of people of a particular community, having run these white trash towns and there's two people, there's a couple of Hicks in a way, wearing two wedding gowns, and the guest vocals from Zach Russell and Jet Holden, I think, are fantastic on here and bring so much personality here. And also the sound of this track, it's likely the most out there sounding song on the whole record. Like, I'd go out of my way and call this like queer psychedelic country blues because of the slow rhythms, the multiple solos, the banjo, the electric guitar, and like the strangest mandolin solo like I've heard in a while. Um, and and yeah, I just really like the vibe the song brings, and it's also seems like a natural follow up to "Going to Hell." And again, yeah, the album I think flows really well, although it's definitely not quite a concept album. And then following this, we have another huge favorite for me on this record, and it's the song "Books and Records," which is kind of a song about another very heartbreaking song, but this time dealing with how capitalism has essentially forced some do small towns to the people within them, that is, to like sell some things that like mean a lot to them, and specifically saying, noting like vinyl records and like novels and books and stuff like that as examples of this. And yeah, this song is just very, very well written in a way, and again, touches on a very like specific issue, but does it in a way that doesn't feel like preachy. That just has like a heart to it. Like Adeem's not cynical; they have a heart, and like they and yeah, some of the details on here, like the way it goes. I doubt we ever will retire. Then the cast iron will be seasoned well by then. Cool little symbolism there, and also one of the best choruses on the record. Like very catchy, and I just can't help but sing along with it, and kind of part of the reason why this, along with tracks 7 and 8 on the record, are like so high for me, is because I actually did get to see Adeem live recently. They played at the Bourbon and Bluegrass Festival in DC, and yeah, that as expected, they put on such a charismatic, fun performance, and they happen to play these songs and tell like little stories about them, and yeah, it just they were already some of my favorites on here, but yeah, they only got better once I saw them live. And then the album closes with My America, and if I had to kind of pick my least favorite track on here, it would have to be this one. I still think it's a really good song. I do think it's well written, and I think it is cool how this is one of a few songs in here that's kind of about Adeem themselves, but also kind of written in character as well. Um, Basically about a country musician who is sort of like reflecting on the kind of scary reality of aging, but also like feeling like the America they grew up with isn't the same as what it used to be and stuff like that. And I do think it is a cool kind of subversive way to end the record. But that being said, for whatever reason, I'm not quite clicking with this song the way I am the rest of the album. I just kind of feel like lyrically it feels, a little less unique coming from Adeem. Because it is definitely a very like simple, straightforwardly written song compared to others, and purposefully so. But I kind of feel like, given how impactful everything else on the record is, like, yeah, it really does kind of make this one pale in comparison. Although I do think it sounds really beautiful, and Adeem certainly sings it very well, and also that little line where they say, so you can call me a hypocrite or white supremacist, whatever helps you sleep. Like, yeah, cool little kind of a subversion there with that line. But yeah, even with my slight little nitpicks with just this one track that ends the record. Overall, I really love this album. I think Adeem really have solidified themselves with this record as truly one of the best songwriters, not just in country, but I think really any genre at all. And even though they've been getting a little more attention and acclaim with this record, which I think is very much deserved, I still think they are kind of underrated and overlooked. And I really hope after this review, more of you guys that watch my content will, check out what they have to offer, and hopefully you enjoy this record as much as I did. And hopefully, it really makes you feel something, the way it did for me. That is my review of White Trash Revelry, the latest album from Adeem the artist, and I'll see you for episode 298.